Trade foes 7-11, the deuce, and the nine. Hoover Hay to the coach enthusiasts, to the Hoover Knights, to the Hoover Collective, and to the people. All right, we're back, man. It's been a minute. A lot going on, a lot on my plate, but I'm here, man. And I'm hoping that a lot of you are tapping in and you're here with me. First off, let me say happy Father's Day, man, to all those who represent that beyond biological ties. You know what I mean? Continue providing that love and support and the guidance, man. Remain providers, protectors, and shapers of healthy development to those individuals who need it most, man. That's what we have to consider as we fulfill this role of fatherhood. It's a serious thing, man. Um, that said, man, there's a lot going on in the world, a lot going on here in LA, as we all, are witness to. A lot being said. Uh, as far as that goes, I can't say, man. Well, I can say one way or another. I'm like most men who are thinking along these lines, man. That's not our fight, man. We have our fights, and we tend to have to fight them by ourselves. So I'm in support of, putting out there, man, not the narrative, but the fact that, hey, man, you got to make your bones, man. You know, we made ours. We know the system. We know this system in and out, how these people function. Um, it's surprising that, there are those who didn't or don't know how the system really gets down. It's a cold beast, man. The system is a cold beast. But to our credit, we've had these fights, man. We continue to have these fights. We've been having them for a long, long time. Not only that, we've throughout history supported those who say we don't support them or that we didn't support them. The Farm Workers Union back then, in the 60s and 70s, man, with I think his name is Cesar Chavez, man. Um, man, blacks was in with that, man. Help support your brothers, man. Looked out, it's all kind of instances throughout history where we've done more than our part. Uh, that's a fact, man. So I don't think that we have to keep reiterating that or proving that this is something that we're used to doing or something we've done, regardless of what's being said, man. Hey, it is what it is, as the saying goes, and however you want to take that, that's on you. But yeah, I agree with a lot that's being said. Yeah, this isn't our fight, you know. It's not our fight, And then couple that with the fact that m- most of us know there's no love, Let's be 100, man. There's no love, from this yard to that yard in there. There's no love, you know. Now, if there was love, man, yeah, there would be a reckoning. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure blacks would be, toe to toe with y'all on this get down, man. But we understand that, it ain't till somebody wants something from us that, when we're cool, or they're cool with us, aside from that, man, like I said, I support the fact that a lot of blacks, uh, foundational blacks, whatever you want to call us or call them, we realize that this is not our fight, man. This is not our fight. That being said, man, more power to you people, man. More power in you people. Get it done, man. Stay the course. Whatever that may be, stay the course. Um, Again, like I said, there's a lot going on in the world. That's just one instance. I've said this. I said this. I said this some months back that they were coming, and they were gonna come in such a way that it was gonna leave no doubt in nobody's mind that hey man, they meant what they were saying they were gonna do, and they're doing it. Now, that being said, what a lot of people need to understand and get, wrap their minds around this is that that's just phase one of that get down. I think those people have maybe 3, 4 phases in terms of dealing with that whole situation that a lot of you aren't even prepared for. Maybe you are, maybe you understand it, and this is probably why you're asking for assistance. I don't know. But this is just step one or phase one. They have so many, I think, phases that they're gonna bring to you guys' doorstep, man. It ain't gonna be nice, man. It ain't gonna be nice. They're gonna dig deep. They're gonna find anything illegal to do with anything they're saying is legal or, or gained by legal means. They're going after everything. This is just phase one. That being said, when they're done with them, and I've said this to our people, yeah, they're going to focus on us again. They are going to focus on us. Now, they can't deport us. This is where we're from. And facts being told, man, we were here before slavery or so-called slavery. We were already here. We were here before they were. You know what I mean? Those people. So what they're going to do to us is not deport us, so to speak. We're not illegals, but they're going to come at us in such a way where they're going to try to have beat us back into a situation of their liking. That's what I think. That's what I think. So I'm saying that to say to black folk, get ready. Get ready, man. Get ready, because it's coming. Don't think that it ain't, Hey, Conscious Mind, what's happening with it, brother? Yeah, happy Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day. I'll see you, Frederick, Roderick. Happy Father's Day, bro. And a happy belated anniversary, too. Pope Mitchell podcast. Happy Father's Day. That's a good look, everybody. To all those, man, that understand what fatherhood is, yeah, happy Father's Day, man. All right. Demario Davis, what's happening, man? You said, Bud, what's happening? This is Tulsa, Oklahoma tapping in. Appreciate that. I was just talking to Matt Hoover, man, about Oklahoma, man. Seattle, a couple other locations, man. And trying to tap in with you brothers, man. Sit down and have a dialogue with you guys, man. So I think that we're going to put that in effect, as soon as it is humanly possible, man. We're going to put that in effect, man. But Tulsa, man, appreciate you tapping in, man. That's a good look. Belize, Jabarni, greetings, big bro from Belize. Damn. All right. Far and wide, man. Appreciate you tapping in, Jabarni. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Like, share, and subscribe, all right, to this live, you guys. Let's make it happen. Hold on. Door number 2, Texas in the government. Texas on the groove, man. Happy Father's Day, big homie. What's up, homie? Door number 2, happy Father's Day to you if you're a father, man. And if not, happy Father's Day, man. You still have a responsibility, grown man. I hope you're on grown man shit, man. Lace those that need to be laced, man. And in a lot of instances, man, help to save individuals from themselves, man. I'm telling you, that's something else we got to actually start looking forward to. Looking out for those who need looking out for, man. Atlanta's in the house, man. Roll one up. Roll one up. All right. Verbs, no slurs. Showing love from Atlanta. Appreciate that, bro. Yo, we got a lot of folks, man, far and wide, man, especially in the country, that I would like to see tap in more often. Like I say, I'm thinking about a project. Well, there will be a project where we're tapping in places like Oklahoma, Atlanta, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Seattle, all over, man. All over. Too few. There's too many to be named, man. But you guys know who you are, man. And you're going to get that call, man. You're going to get that call. And hopefully you guys have the time to come on in. Hey, let's chop it up, man. Because this is what this platform is for. It's for y'all, Yeah, we're out here in the land, but this is also you guys' platform, man. To come on, man, and let's get down with the get down. And we're going to talk this, this community thing, this Hoover thing. Going to be respectful. Be mindful of that, though. Always be respectful, bro. But that's something I'm looking forward to. Nationwide grooving. You already know, homie. Inglewood Legends, man. Hey, I'll be checking y'all site out, man. Inglewood Legends. He said, I got fam for 5 deuce in Fort Worth. I'm going to see what I could do, but appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Real spit. How you been doing, though, Inglewood Legends? I like I said, I check out your content, man. I checks it out, man. I like what I see, man. You guys are doing an all right job over there as well, man. Hey, don't just contact them, man. If you know somebody that could add to, this platform's get down, which is just, historical, it's historical context, man. We talking about Hoover as a community, how it was for us growing up. That's it, man. Like I said, if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, have them tap in, man. Have them tap in and let's see what it do. All right, it's good. All right. And well, let's say I've been good, OG, staying out the way, basically. I tell you, man, sometimes that's a hard process. Sometimes that's a hard process, man, because it's a lot going on, like I say, man. And it's as most of us are aware, it's easy to get into some shit. It's easy. It's easy, man, but it's hard as hell to get out of it. So some of us do what's best for us, man. We stay out of the way. We find our own groove, and that's what we be on, man. And I'm telling you, for me, I can speak for me. It works for me. Mind my own business, man. Hey, family, me and family. That's it, man. I don't fuck around with nothing else, nobody else, man. Uh, yeah, it's a process, man. Just staying out of the way. But it could be done. It could be done. And most times, man, we do that best when we have responsibilities. We have a job to attend. We have priorities and things of that nature, man. That keeps us out of the way. So that's a good look for you brothers that want to know how to stay out of the way. Get some responsibility, man. Some man-like responsibilities, a job, man, a family, man. Those things, man, that's going to keep you focused on what's in front of you and what's most important. I think that's something, man, that need to be conveyed to the people. Basically, the way to stay out of the way is have something to do, man. Have something to do with your time and with yourself, man. That's constructive. It's positive even. Again, man, like I was saying, this thing, man, going on, man, in LA is something else, man. But it's gonna go the way it's supposed to go. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna end like people think it's gonna end. The people gonna have their way. That's what they do. They're gonna have their way. It's a lot too why they doing what they doing. It ain't just because are they illegals. It ain't just because they took black jobs. In some cases, they have. In some cases, they have. There's a process to that too. But a lot of that farm or that agriculture type get down, that's not something we were going to be interested in to begin with. I think they just took it upon themselves to think that if they get rid of a certain, demographic, then we would automatically fill those slots. Nah, that ain't how that's going to work out, man. I can pretty much tell them that. They ask me, I'll tell them, y'all got it twisted. That ain't going to happen. But there is that, man. If people, I want to kind of get political, man, and just in terms of the geopolitics, man. Look at what's going on in the world. Most of us don't recognize, understand that the world is already in a state of World War III. It's actually happening, but they're good at how they spin narratives and stuff. They're good with how they stop information from getting out to the people, but there are other ways around that, man. You guys, man, need to, it's more going on the set than and a lot that's going on in the world, man. I'm telling you, at some point it's going to affect the set, whatever set you from, whatever hood you from. It's going to cascade. It's going to come down. It's going to touch you. It's going to touch somebody, man. And we need to be mindful of what's going on in the world. Just have an understanding in terms of, okay, when shit get really bad, we'll know how to deal with it. Again, this shit that's going on in the world, it's finna be bad, man. It's gonna be bad because this is the narrative they want. They want this issue to take place. Again, it's just not here in LA or Texas or Philly or wherever else they're protesting. Arizona. Shit is going on all around the world, and whether we realize it or accept it or not, it's all interconnected. It's connected, man. I'm telling you, it's a script that's going to be played out to their specifications. So y'all get ready. Trust me, it's coming. Yeah. Poke Mitchell podcast. Okay, it definitely works, especially when you make God the source, because the job is just the income. Yeah, job is the income, man. It is the income. Like I say, if you got responsibilities, definitely, with rent you're paying, a mortgage, a car note, insurance, groceries, whatever. Even those who got weed habits, man, you spend $80, $120 a day, what I'm saying? No real hustle or whatnot, that's a source of income that takes care of that habit right there. without that source of income, and no telling what guys, will resort to, to get that hit or whatever it is they're getting down with, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Appreciate that. Posted up with Boss Claus. What's happening, Boss Claus? How you been, man? Yep, yep. Happy Father's Day as well, homie. Happy Father's Day, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you, man. Hanging out, chopping it up, man. Hope you and the family are well, man. I'm pretty sure you got that love, man. Joe Barney said, I grew up on 81st between Fig and Hoover from the late 70s to 99. Majority of my family from Hoover, all sets. My brother, a few of them is here who got deported. Hey, I'm telling you. Again, man, it ain't just, a lot of people got to understand too, it ain't just Mexicans or El Salvadorians, Guatemalans, man, it's brothers from the Caribbean, brothers from, all over, man, that migrated here for whatever reason are being deported. And some were legitimately here. They had the right documentation. They went through the process, and that don't seem to matter. That don't seem to matter. Let them run across a brother that ain't from the United States originally. They're going to deport that ass, and you have to fight your way back, man. However that works, But it's real, man. It ain't just Mexicans they grabbing and snatching up. Now, the same could be said about, a lot of other, blacks from other areas, from other countries, man. I was checking out something today, man, where they were discussing how a lot of brothers and sisters from other areas, Africa for one, some parts of the Caribbean, where they look at blacks differently, and they will say quick, that ain't my business. I'm not black, I'm not American, but you fail to realize you black. Your skin, you got melanin, so you're in the same boat, just different paddles. We got a pedal, you have an oar, look, man, we all in the same boat. So it don't matter, man. It don't matter. Brothers need to get together, man, in terms of representing each other on any level, on all levels. That's the truth, man. I'm telling you, without support one another, like I said, we all we got. We all we got. I'm telling you, the first time we don't want to go along with something somebody else got in motion, the daggers come out. You know what I mean? The daggers come out, man. Real colors come out. So, hey, man, whether black and from wherever you from, you still black. You still got that melanin, and that's what they see, man. And they're going to deal with you accordingly, especially if you ain't from here. That's how they getting down. Money Tree Hollins. What's happening, man? Glad to see you back. All right. He says they've been looking for a reason to pull that tactical gear out anyway. Well, I'm telling you, they spent that money on the Black Lives Matter get down, man, and they didn't get to use that shit as well as they wanted to. Ain't no scratches on it. They ain't got no blood stains on it. They trying to get it in, man. Trust. They trying to use that shit. That's what they got it for. That's what they got it for. Not only the equipment, but the training. The training. They want to see if the training work. Come on, man. The shit is bigger than what people think, man. Yes, sir. Kara Coleman, happy Father's Day, Bubs. All right, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, this thing is crazy. Like I said, we're in a situation, but I've been saying, especially for black people, man, we're in dire straits, man, because we got a lot working against us. All have always had a lot working against us, man, be it politics, economics, society, you know what I'm saying, or just the system in general. We're used to this shit, It's sad to say that, a people got to be used to, abuse, brutality, misuse, being thought less than, others or whatever, even inferior. We're used to it, man, And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. The fact that, people before us that went through it, shared those stories, those experiences with us, kind of gave a lot of us, man, the understanding we have about the system. We don't trust them as far as we can throw them. We know to get down. We know the truth, But again, when they're done with them, they're coming. They're coming. I was watching that DA, Cockman, I think his name is. And hey, man, all you gotta do is just listen and look at it, listen to him and look at his body language. Man, they looking to wreak havoc on certain demographics, not just the Mexicans, but us too. They like I said, they planning on. There's a whole lot in place that they need to do these things for, man. Like I said, they represent what, 3 years from now, about 2.5 years from now, 3 years, the Olympics. You know, now provided that the Third World War don't get so out of hand to where it ain't gonna be no Olympics, they're still planning for that, and they're talking about hundreds of millions of visitors. They're talking about tens and hundreds of billions of dollars. You're talking about an economy. You're talking about, what they get out for. This is capitalism and, at its best, especially in an event like that. These people, man, they gonna set it up to where they don't have to worry about some prime minister's niece or nephew coming to Los Angeles and being jacked, being robbed, or killed. They gonna make sure, man, these streets is not clean, but just spotless. Ain't gonna have no problems. This is part of that get down, man. So they dealing with what they got to deal with first, and then they coming for us, especially those who confess or profess to be in gangs. Y'all next. That's a fact. So get ready. That's all I'm saying. Get ready. And you do that, man, by, like I said, just understand what's going on around you. Try to understand some of these laws, man, that are in place, that, are there, that you can exercise or you could utilize, man, to your benefit when you get caught in a situation, man. Some of that shit works. Some of that shit they'll still run roughshod over and tell you, hey, deal with that, man, through the court, sue me, or whatever the case may be, because some of them don't even, honor, these laws and, these constitutional laws, that they're sworn to protect, but it's coming, man, and brothers better get ready. Better get ready. Kara Coleman, she said, I just left the Bahamas. It was all black love. Yeah, it's like that, though. That was this sister's name. I think she's the prime minister over there in the Bahamas. Oh, man, she pushing the line. She's pushing the line, man. She be on Trump's neck. Oh, my God. What's that sister name? But she is no joke. And I can see why. And she's in the Bahamas. I can see why things are changing over there. There's that love over there. People are starting to recognize a whole lot of shit, man, about what's going on in the world. But again, what I wanted to say about right quick, the world, again, it's already going down. World War III is in effect. They just not pushing it. They don't want you. They keep certain shit, in place to distract us, keep us, not mindful of the real occurrences, the real situations that are happening. So they keep us with the BS. The BS is a distraction, for those who know, but the shit is going down. And then I tell you, man, it ain't gonna be 6 months, man. You can see the real effects of what's really, happening in the world. And it ain't gonna just be LA or the United States. The shit's gonna affect everybody from everywhere. So I'm saying that to say, get ready. You decipher that interpret that any way you want to, but get ready. Get ready. Money Tree Hollins said, they have that white stereotype of us, some. Yeah. But you got to look at it like this too, bro. They had that mindset of them. A lot of them do. A lot of them consider themselves or want to be just like them. A lot of them associate their lineage, their ancestry with them. You just got to, call a spade, homie. One thing is for sure, we're not on the same page. That's a fact. We are not on the same page, man. Anytime you get individuals, like I say, man, and they use social media, man, like nobody's business. But again, they use it for all the wrong reasons, and again, most of it is to distract us. That's why it's easy for anybody to have a podcast, for anybody to say something, not just because it's your First Amendment right, freedom of speech, say what the hell you want. But I'm telling you, a lot of this shit, man, just in terms of ethics, man, if the shit was really legit and it was about positivity and building, up not just individuals but communities, a lot of podcasters wouldn't exist. Just wouldn't exist. They'd have no format, no form to present the BS they talking about. But again, you got the First Amendment, and that's what allow a lot of BS to exist, and it does, like I say, for a reason. It's to distract us. You know, is to distract us. But that being said, man, hey man, like I say, more power to them people, man. They're gonna have to find a way to get it done one way or another, but they're gonna have to find a way to get it done without the majority of us. You know. Um, I was checking out something, man, in terms of the statistics when the vote went down. They were saying that, blacks were telling them, hey man, y'all vote for Trump if you want to. It ain't gonna turn out well. And again, they were like, man, fuck what y'all talking about. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't know shit. You're gonna tell the people that have been through more shit than anybody, they don't know shit. That they don't have experience dealing with this type of get down. Come on, man, that don't make no sense. No, lo and behold, Trump is in there, man, and he running roughshod. He's running roughshod, man. It ain't giving a damn. I was telling my people when the election was going, I was like, damn, Trump gonna win the election. Just looking at the get down, man, how they were voting, how they were campaigning, the votes they were courting. I was telling my family, man, he gonna win. He gonna win big. Oh man, you tripping, man. No, man, me and my wife would have debates about it. I'm telling you, look, man, this is what's finna happen. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, all right, watch. Lo and behold, this is what it is, man. So this is what we're faced with, man. We're faced with, an elected official, the president, who gives a damn about anybody that ain't like him. That's a fact. Now, there's also, I think, the potential for a civil war. I really think that, I think that's on the horizon, and the shit is crazy, man. It's crazy to the point where I'm telling you, you're not looking at shit, not just socially, but politically and economically. You're gonna get slapped in the back of the head, man. You're gonna get shocked. You're gonna get slapped so hard it's gonna shock you back into the present. You're gonna have some understanding. The shit is wild. But that said, get ready. So there's that, man. I was just talking to one of the older homies, and we were just discussing, the platform and individuals, from the community, and them. I mentioned this a few minutes ago, but them not understanding that the platform exists for them. The platform, this is their home. You know what I mean? For the whole community. I don't care what state you from or none of that, man. The platform exists for you brothers and sisters to come over here and speak your piece respectfully. Something you want to have a discussion about, something you want to bring to the platform or disseminate to the people, man. The platform exists for that reason. And then, like I say again, especially to the young ones, you guys are included in that. I don't ever want you guys to think, especially the young ones, that this platform is not for you. You're more welcome to it than most, because like I said, it's you guys' time, and you guys have to have, I'm pretty sure you have an opinion. You have an opinion, based upon what you're going through, how, your experiences or whatnot. This is why this exists, man. You guys can come on this thing, man, and we're gonna chop it up. Now, I think in order for that to happen, we got to get our schedules right. That's one thing. I've been talking to a lot of young homies. I tell them off the rip. I work. Every day, man. Sometimes 6 days a week. If I feel like, okay, I want to go in on a Saturday, then so be it. I'll be here. And then there's Sunday. But I know Saturdays for a lot of young ones, that's their day, to let loose even more. Monday through Friday, they got their thing. They do what they do. But Saturday, that's a for show party day for them. I told them, okay, if I can catch you early, man, I'll come in here 10 in the morning, but good luck with that because I know Friday they just prepping for Saturday. So they probably not getting up to maybe one or two. I don't know. But in any event, man, the platform, it exists for you young brothers as well. And again, like I said, man, as long as you have something viable to discuss, you're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. Like I say, you can have your opinion. It's yours. That makes it valid for you. You know what I mean? Come on and get down, man, and let's talk about it. Most of the young ones, they got my hookup, man. Give me a call, man. For those who, out of state, we're gonna figure out a way to get you guys my hookup without me just putting it over the thing like this. You gonna go on my DM. You guys can put it in there, man. I'll get it and I'll contact you. But let's let the brothers and sisters know that Under the Groove exists for those who understand or represent or from this groove, man. This is what it's for. That's what I'm saying. But and again, in the past, we've allowed others not from Hoover to come and grace the platform. And I always thought that I always thought that was good. I thought that was good. A lot of brothers thought that it was, good as well. Then there are those who felt like, oh man, why you do that? Da, 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 I did it for a reason. I think a lot of you, some of you won't understand, so I'm not going to necessarily explain it. But if you look at the get down and how we get down, that should be explanation enough. Just about respect, bro. It's about respect. That's it. But whenever y'all ready, man, here it is. Kenny Harris say, keep doing your thing. I was raised on 74th and Hoover, 626 was 74th, from 68 to 81, Lauren Miller. Tell you, man, it's a trip. How many people that you see in the comments say, I lived on this street, and I swear, man, I lived on there. We lived down there on every street on that mug. And I'm knowing for a fact, I was talking to one of the homies, man. We lived on 76 Hoover in Vermont. All little dudes. I remember all these little dudes. I used to chase them. I used to do to them what was done to me, But not as viciously, you know what I mean? But I remember these cats, man, and some of them moved away, And sadly, regrettably, I ran into a lot of them later in life in prison, from different areas now, different hoods, different sets. But one thing we had in common, we remember growing up and what it was like. And then, when we're younger, you have a lot more enjoyment. You enjoy life a lot more, you know what I'm saying? But once you get older, it's like you become jaded, bitter, you know what I'm saying? You don't have as much fun or you don't enjoy life as much as you get older. But I appreciate having these conversations, with those who come on in the chat and say, hey, man, I grew up, I went to Lauren Miller, I went to Manchester, I went to, whatever, man. And I grew up on this street and I grew up with so-and-so. And, those are good memories, man. I think those are the types, memories and experiences worthwhile and worth sharing. One thing I do think about also when we talk about back in the day, I neglect a lot to talk about the fashions. Okay, most of the guys, we were on dirt bikes, skateboards, hopping fences, jumping roof to roof, raiding fruit trees, things of that nature. But we forget to talk about a lot of the other things we did. For instance, karate movies. That's one. That's something me and my brother would talk about. We remember every karate movie. Come Saturday morning, you watch the cartoons, get your bowl of cereal and shit. By 10, 11, karate movies on. You don't go outside till after they go off, man. Kung Fu theater and all that old type of shit. Another thing I neglect to talk about, I think that's a mainstay in a lot of our lives, was the music. Even for those who grew up after us, I bet you they remember the music, that they were introduced to either through a mom or dad, a bigger, older brother, sister, auntie or uncle or cousin. Music was one of the main things or mainstays in our life, man, our lives. And I'm telling you, to this day, I most that know me, I'm like most of us, man, around my age. We keep it, with the oldies and shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit, into to the late 80s, some early 90s shit. But music is something I'm telling you for a fact, man. When we listen to it, it just takes you there. It becomes this nostalgic thing, man. And those who know what I'm talking about. Music is a part of our lives, man. You can't tell the story and leave out the music you were listening to that you heard as you were growing up. Stories ain't complete without it, man. So a lot of times I neglect to bring that into the conversation, man. Um, yeah, music, man. I love it. I'm telling you, it got me through prison. I ain't gonna lie. It got me through prison, man. Let me get back to this, man. This shit. Kenny Harris say I knew everybody. Telling you, man, that's how I be too. As kids, man, you go from street to street. I don't know. A lot of y'all we grew up. This is how we came to meet a lot of people through pigeons and dirt bikes and shooting marbles. And again, roaming up alleys. You know, roaming just hitting alley after alley. Just to learn where the shortcuts was, or fruit trees. You know what I mean? Looking backyards from bicycle parts and shit. Shit of that nature. But hey, man, that was something we did. That we had a ball, man. This is how we met a lot of the people we grew up with. You know, running up and down different streets. I remember shit. Before I was even in sixth grade, I think I was third or fourth grade. I had a girlfriend. My black ass had a girlfriend, man. And hey, man, shit, she didn't live on the same street that I lived on. You know what I mean? So that was another way, we got to learn, got to meet other people, going to visit a girl at a young age. It's a whole lot to this shit, man. A whole lot to this shit. And we need to be talking about that, man. Just reminiscing, bringing it in, man. All right, people, I see you. Yes, I knew everybody. Yes, I got a true story. I got a true story for you. I grew up with Hoover Joe's brothers. Yeah, I met Hoover Joe's brother, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of them from East Coast. Yeah, I met him. Matter of fact, craziest thing, man. Um, actually, I met him before, but I forgot. I first met him, Nate. I first met him. I think it was 80. He tell the story. It was 80, 86, I think. We were having a party on 74th Hoover and Fig, and discrepancy jumped off. And he was there, and he went from the set, he's from East Coast. And I don't know, man, for whatever reason, I like, nah, man, just chill out. Chill out, man. Leave him alone. He cool. Fuck it. This was 86. And he never forgot that. I forgot it. So when Joe gave me his number, I called, boom, boom, boom. We met up at a larger park, man. We was up there for some type of gathering, man. And we met, boom. And he hit me like, Bub, you don't remember me? I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Like, nah, homie, But I know he's Joe's brother, you know what I mean, at this point. He said, man, I live where we lived at. There was a party, across the street, and one thing led to another, and you got in between, and you didn't let nothing happen to me. I'm like, damn. But I kind of remember the incident. I just didn't remember the brother, you know. But yeah, man, Joe's brother, man, good dude, man. Good dude. And send mine out to you, Nate. Hope everything is well, brother. And happy Father's Day, by the way. Yeah, stories, man. Got a whole lot of them. Yeah, I feel you, Hoover Street. So Hoover Street say you need someone else on deck to host when you're not available. I know, right? We want to keep this thing consistent, man. Want to keep it consistent. Well, to be quite honest with you, though, I'm, Hoover Street. Well, as most of you know, man, initially, I fucked with the G homie, man. Tried to, see where he was with the get down, man, and it didn't work out. Um, I've kind of tapped into a few cats, man. Uh, it's hard to put my finger on. It's hard to discern whether or not they're, really want to be on board with this get down. It's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, man. There seems to be not necessarily a stigma, to the get out, but some type of resistance. I can't really put my finger on it. I know where it comes from, but I don't understand why others would buy into, whatever it is that's coming from that source or sources. But I hollered at some dudes that I'm straight with, that I respect and love and respect me. And it's just a matter of us, working out, the details, or, whatnot. I would love to get Meskin and Frog up here, but again, these brothers, they got their thing going on outside, of this, and it's hard to get them to understand. Okay, man, this is this day and this day and this day. Come on, do your show, man. Have fun, man. Da da da. The schedules, they collide. They don't meet up. So that's one thing. Um, I've had actually a conversation with a couple of home queens, to get me in here, hey man, do your thing, or won't, son of the groove, have whatever material content you bring it as long as it's respectful, So it's just a matter of me again finding, not necessarily the time, but the right person to come in here and get down, man. Just get down, Hey, turn it up, make it right, make it look good, make it to where you guys are always on the receptive end of Under the Groove, the Hoover story. So it's a work in progress trying to find the right person. So I take what you say, man, I take it constructively. You know what I'm saying, Hoover Street? I really do. Kara Coleman said, Bub, I'm a mother, a single Black mother. I truly appreciate what you're doing. You're not the average YouTuber. You speak straight facts. You are the glue to your community. Yeah, I'm part of the glue. I'm part of the mixture, man. There's a lot of us. What I've learned or what I observed from the set, the community, got a lot of good brothers, man. It's just that a lot of them, what's the word I want to use? A lot of them don't want to be set up, or let down. A lot of them don't want to get crossed up and shit. They have other responsibilities, like most of us too. A lot of them are single fathers, take care of their babies. I was talking to the young king, man. You know what I'm talking about. I say, man, come on and get down with me, man, and do this. Da 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 da. But he has responsibilities, so I can dig it. We got a lot of good brothers, man, who are the glue to our community, who've always been the glue to our community. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a drop in the bottle, Um, yeah, I'm like you though. I would appreciate if there were more, willing to come and, not this get down per se, but anything they want to bring in terms of content that's going to help us grow, that's going to create positivity for the young ones, 'Cause it's easy to put out bullshit, but I think it's difficult, man, to stick to a script, man, the positivity, what we pushing about, togetherness, what I mean, positivity, knowledge, shit of that nature, you know, it's difficult. It takes work, it takes work. And I'm telling you, a lot of times I don't have the time in the day. I can come home from work, 12-hour shift. I'll be tired as hell, you know. I'm tired, man. So, I try to do what I can, man. And at the same time, I'm really looking for somebody to come and do this thing with me. That'd be nice. I think that would add it'd be a whole nother dimension brought to this get out. And I'm thinking it would serve us well if we found that right person, you know, that right person, man. That'd be Mo Glue. We have Mo Glue, man. Money Tree Holland say these kids really never heard a love song. Yeah, not yeah. They don't make them the way they used to, bro. Most love songs now, when you trip off, I swear, man. And no disrespect to those who like the shit they make today. I don't listen to none of that shit. Because I'm trying to find, okay, where's the connection? I don't know, man. The story, how they telling the story, the love, and it don't jive with me. But I can go back. I could put some Ives in. I could put some Teddy. I could put some Rick James in. And I'm like, damn, boy, that was deep. Tina Marie, man. Sade. I can go even further back, man. Gladys Knight and them, man. Like, fuck. Smokey Robinson. Love song. Shit. Make you like, man. Yeah, it's different, bro. I don't, I don't indulge, man. My family, you got members of the family, we get a gathering, man. I'm trying to, give them a little culture, the old school culture. And then, oh, come on, Trav, come on, Pop. You been playing that to him. I was like, okay, what you gonna put in there? And before you know it, you got this weird sound coming out, man. And oh my God, it's DMP, dick and pussy shit. And I'm like, all right, man, shit, I'm going in the house. Like, not going in the house, man. But yeah, it's hard to find these days solid love songs, man, by artists. Some shit that you want to play, you want to learn the lyrics to. I haven't come across much. I haven't come across much. Um, Let me backtrack. There are some songs I've heard. My sister-in-law put me up on. This one brother, man, London. I forget his first name. It's London. He sound like Marvin Gaye. The boy. He's smooth. He's smooth. So I like his shit. But other than that, man, it's hard for me to put my finger on some shit that's being played today in the last 5, 10 years since I've been home that I would play or put in my playlist, man. I'm not messing with it. No, I'm messing with it. Okay, Hoover Street. You said the Shaw Brothers, the Deadly Five, Venom was the shit. Oh man, yeah. Hey, those were the producers of the karate flicks. The Shaw Brothers. I already know what you're talking about off the rip. Man, we set up and talk about anything karate. And then another thing, and see, this is how carried away we would get with these karate movies. Now we want to make nunchucks and shit. We want to have the little spike things you could throw. We coming to all kinds of spears and shit. It got so bad to where, as we got older, we started going to the Tower and to the State Theater on Broadway back in the day on 6th and Broadway and over there. And we come out watching the karate flicks and we go to work on people walking up the street. You know what I mean? Man, I'm telling you some of the best times, in my opinion. you know. But yeah, the karate flicks, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. There wasn't no kick I couldn't do. Roundhouse, anything. Shit. Yeah, man, the Shaw Brothers. So Al Thomas say music is the soundtrack to life, man. No doubt. No doubt. Like I say, man, for me, and I know this, man, for a lot of brothers, especially those, doing time, man. I mean, real time. Music, man, bought for me, bought me solace, calm me down. I would think better, depending on the level of music. Even if I was listening to some hip hop, some old school hip hop, even Tupac, I would sit and think. I would think better. I'd be on some, hey man, some warrior type shit. But I would think. I would want to think. Before I act, I get out. That was my mindset. But music got me. I think out of prison, it got me through. It got me through. I was telling a story. I left my radio. I was the only one with brothers that know this. No, a Super 2, not a Super 3. I had the old school Super 2 hooked up. Had the old school Super 2, man, and especially Sunday nights, man, up in 225, no 246. That was my cell, 246. Man, playing my oldies, man, my music, man. Sometimes I'll be forgetting because I'll be on my phone and somebody be, hey, Bub, what's happening? Where the music? All right, hold on, boom. I play the music to the night lady, and night man came by and say, turn it down. But all old school shit. And I remember leaving, man. I gave it to one of the homies, and you know who you is, and boy, then they cried. He cried. I said, man, this ain't shit, homie. He said, man, well, most motherfuckers take this type of shit home with them. Somebody was telling me the other day, man, that was a collector's item. You supposed to have bought that home. I'm like, nah, homie, nah. And leave. I understood what it did for me, and my hope was I can leave it with the righteous homie, and he gets something from it, helps him, get through because he going through it, as we speak. But yeah, music, man, that old school shit, man, ain't nothing like it. Listen to my Hoover playlist. I think I got that playlist, Hoover Street. Matter of fact, I know I have it. And you need to put the information up there so those that's reading it, in the chat, man, they can go check it out as well. If you got it like that. I got like, I think I got about 6, 7 different playlists. I got like 3 or 4 for when I'm on my bike. Got my playlist for the truck. I got the playlist for the house. I get all kind of playlists and stuff. If you got a good one, bro, you need to put that up there. Share that with the people. Al Thomas, every cut from 73rd to 84th. Hey, that's real spit. That's real spit. Even the streets that didn't have alleys, right? You knew how to get through the yards and shit. What gates to go through, who had dogs, what homeowner or renter was tripping if you cutting through their shit. You had to know every cut. Kenny Harris said in 1977, Funkadelic, One Nation Under a Groove was a song played at a party. Man, that shit was epic, man. Funkadelic, man. And I'm gonna tell you, though, and I'm not trying to, lay claim as a Hoover to the Funkadelic empowerment, but man, that was our shit, man. That was our shit, man. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt, man. And it was others, man. My mom's, I remember my moms used to throw my 2 oldest brothers at the basketball games on Saturday nights, parties. We lived on 78th Hoover and Fig at this time. And this was like 1970. This had to be like shit, man. We lived on 78, man. Yeah, about 1970, 75, 74, 75, 76. Yeah, up to 76. But it was a lot of Parliament shit, And man, that shit was some crazy shit. I took to it immediately. But I used to trip off the heads that used to come to the party. And these are the old school Hoovers, most of which I couldn't recognize to this day. A few I do. Came to our house, didn't tear our house up or nothing. But that music, I used to trip on them, man, watch them listen, dancing, listening to this music. And I was hooked, man. I'm telling you, I was hooked. I just started getting into the music like that. My brothers, they were older, they were already into it. And they was like, man, this song is this song is that. And, Bootsy, I got to learning about all that shit, man. But the Funkadelics, One Nation, that's some hard shit, man. That's our shit. Wasn't just hard, it was ours. Excuse me, people. Blow from Bounty Hunter Watts. Bounty Hunter Watts. All right, what's happening, man? Welcome, man. Welcome. He said you are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. Appreciate that, bro. Like, man, and comment. You know what I'm saying? Share this thing. Subscribe to the live, man. Brothers like you, appreciate you coming in, man. Welcome to the Get Down, bro. Welcome to the Get Down. Ever been to Houston? So he asked me, have I ever been to Houston? Yeah, passing through. Yeah, passing through. Passing through, bro. And that was back in the day, though. This shit, 91, 92. Yeah, passing through, man. Houston, Dallas. I forget this one spot. From there through Sweetport, Monroe, Baton Rouge, all the way into Mississippi, all the way to Mississippi. Yeah. Did a little bit of traveling, not a lot. Not a lot. Door number 2 said we need to tap in behind the scene to line up some intellectual Hoover history about the groove in Texas. Like I said, bro, hey, door number 2, you are so right. You're on point with that. I was just having a conversation with Clarence Hoover about that, and that's about to take place. I'm gonna surprise you people with a guest. Controversial, but nonetheless, I'm gonna surprise you people with it. And yeah, we want to tap in, not like I said, not just Texas, man, but all the the other communities throughout the country, man. Like I say, this podcast is just for the whole community, the Hoover community, and in fact, it goes beyond that because there are other get downs, man, with this, and this is why I would like another host or somebody to come in and get down with me, because there are other, things, in the mix. And I just need the right person to help make this thing go the way it's supposed to go. All right. But yeah, Texas, we coming, man. Or better yet, come on down. Come on down, man. Kenny Harris said, I know Fraud well and his sisters. They went to Bethune and Trade Tech. Yeah, Trade Tech with the 1983. All love, 4 times. Real spit, man. Yeah, Frog, like I say, man, everybody know, man, Frog been around a long, long, long time. His family, in fact, all his sisters, everybody know him, man. I hope they're well, man. Yes. Ja Barney said it was next door. It was a party in 93. The DJ was a reggae DJ, but the Hoovers turned it out. All night play Mr. Groove, nothing else played. Me and brother still laugh about that when we talk about it. Yeah, hey, can you imagine that? Yeah, and I've been, in fact, yeah, before I went under on that case, I could go in the party on the set, and that's all you hear. What you'll hear, One Nation and Mr. Groove. Couple more, you get a little zap in there, zapping Roger in there and shit, But for sure, Mr. Groove, won't you come back? That was more than anything. And One Nation Under Groove, more than anything. You can't tell no homie, man, anything different. Most know, though. Yep. It's real. Fire dude say used to take the number 7 bus straight up Broadway, RTD. Randall T. Davis. Bowden Michael, I see you, man. Florence to Manchester, LOL. Has to be. What's happening, man? Happy Father's Day. Hope all is well, champ. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. We got so much in common. And, even though, like we're talking about some of the old the music from, our generation, our past, the younger ones, they got music, and I'm telling you, they'll have some of the same um the experiences are shared, but just in a different perspective. You know what I mean? They got some shit. They'll tell you some shit and be like, damn, that shit was the shit. They be like, that's the shit. So I get it, man. I get it. We have a lot of shared experiences, man. We have a lot of shit in common, man, more than we think. And to have that, you don't just have to be or somebody that was from where we're from, you know, because I'm pretty sure the East Coast has had theirs, the main streets, the 60s, the 111s, the Inglewood families, the Swans, them lanes, the Brand, everybody had their shit, that just took them back. If you ask them today what that music was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, they're going to take you on, they take you on the journey. I'm pretty sure. Man. That's how deep the music was, man. Profound. Profound. Another thing I learned about our music, especially that music from that era, you got a whole lot of people other than us love that shit. I mean, that's all they fuck with. That's all they fuck with, you know? Then you got some of them be surprised that a lot of us fuck with they shit too. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't get it, but we get it. That's our shit. That was our shit for was y'all shit, you know? But hey, man, music it's a universal thing, man. It's something, man, that everybody can relate to in some form or fashion, So yeah, I'm sitting up and thinking about it now when I leave here, man. I can go put on some Rick James or something, some Tia Marie or something. I don't know, some Isleys. I don't know. Groove with you and groove with me, man. Shit. Hey, man, this thing though, like I said, people, this thing is gonna continue to do what it's gonna do, man. It's gonna get better. You know, other than what's going on in the world, we got a lot, on our plate, man. I want to send well wishes to my wife. Get better, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I'll see you. I'll see you soon. All right. And hold together. You strong like that. My baby, man, she tough as rawhide, man. I ain't even exaggerating. Tough as rawhide, man. You know, and feminine is a mother. My baby. I love you, mama. Yeah, man. This shit is real, man. What's up, Cleveland? Good to see you, bro, as always. Hold on. Kenny Harris say, remember Heat Wave, Groove Line. Rain, shine 4 times. We riding on the groove line. Real spit. On my playlist. I got one with nothing but groove songs in it. Al Thomas say, grab a homie from every generation. Yeah. I think that'll put a whole lot of homies. I think that'll pull in a whole lot of homies from those generations. Yeah. And that's something I've discussed with homies as well. Just recently, as a matter of fact, I was discussing that with the homies and on both, the different generations. And everybody was like, all right, yeah, we down with that. We want to do that. So I'm like, okay. Now, when I call you, come on, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's sit at the table, sit at the round table, man, and let's chop it up, man. You know? So I got a thumbs up on that one. And I think it's so many, I have to figure out how to go about doing that. You know what I mean? Because, if we coming from the 50s, down, to the one way, man, how we gonna do that? It can be done though. I'm gonna figure that one out. That would be something, yeah. Cleveland Ross, again, what's happening, brother? Happy Father's Day, by the way, man. All love and respect, homie. The homie Cleveland said, what's up, bub? I want to ask you to let the homies from out of town, because I noticed that a lot of fake YouTubers are trying to split our togetherness with fake bullshit. Parliament Funkadelic, real spit, bro, on both levels, on both accounts. I was speaking of that earlier, to where we want to have, and I'm letting the homies know out of state and everywhere else, you're more than welcome. This is a part of you too. This platform belongs to you as well. You don't have to go nowhere else. You don't have to go and, do these interviews and have these dudes edit and narrate it the way they want to ask you questions that create bullshit with your own. You know what I mean? Not going to do that here. We're one family here, man. So this shit exists for you guys just for that, man. And like I say, I'm gonna keep saying it. It ain't the first time I said it. Man, Under the Groove exists for our community. The young and the old, man. This is our get out. You want to have something to say? Come on. But be mindful. You have to be respectful. That's the only request I have. Only condition. You have to be respectful. But come on, man. It's open to you. I got it for that reason. This studio exists for that reason, for the loved ones, for our community to come and sit down, man, and express themselves. Share the get down, man, with the other brothers, man. Get to know one another. Share the stories, man. Just do it like that, man. That's what this is here for, man. Man, what up, Woody? H is home. How you been, man? Happy Father's Day, bro. Happy Father's Day, loved one. Yeah, S said it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let's Groove, a Hoover song. Yeah, that's one of the songs. That's on my playlist. I saw Orion 7, Pine Bluff, Arkansas in the house. All right, welcome, Pine Bluff. Welcome. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the live, bro. Share this get down with others. Hey, Kenny, I already said the Isley brothers. That's a given. That's a given. Sell Dope One. Shout out H Love, the channel Real Truth from the Real. H is homie. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, you got it like that, Woody. Homie say, you got it like that, bro. Sitting there sipping on some Jack, huh? We're waiting for that moment, huh? Get it in, bro. Get it in. Get it in. Yeah, man. This is, to me, this is something else, man. This is what I actually enjoy this. I actually, enjoy being able to come on and get down and just holler at the people, man. And then get the, get the chat, man, get the comments, man, about, our community, and it ain't even got to be about our community. It could be about us as a people. You know what I mean? It could be the politics that affect us as a people, the economics, or whatever the case may be. The fact that I'm able to do this, man, I appreciate it. It's a whole lot that I won't do on this get down that others do when they get down. That's their business. You know, that ain't the business. I'm not in that business. You know what I mean? I'm not in that business. I say what I mean what I say. I'm not gonna ever straddle the fence. I'm not gonna, be have these interchanging masks and shit. I'm this way one today and another the next. You're gonna see me how you see me every single time. Solid spit, man. Ain't gonna change. That ain't gonna change. I saw Orion 7. I saw Orion 7 says, you ever heard of LA Mo moving to Little Rock in the early 90s and the gang banging in Little Rock on HBO? Let me read that again. You ever heard of LA Mo moving to Little Rock in the early 90s and the gang banging in Little Rock on HBO? No, you recommending that? I can go check that out. Is that the name of it? Send me the name of that get down, man. I go home, I can check that out, man. I can't recall even hearing about that. LA Mo moving to Little Rock in the early 90s and the gang banging in Little Rock on HBO. Yeah, I'll go check that out, man. I'm gonna check that out and see what it is. Seldo one. Shout out to my fan Rolade. Rolade OG, Road Dog. What's there? Yeah, Road Dog 83. Yeah, Rolade the loved one, man. Matter of fact, happy Father's Day, Rolade. Hope you're doing well too, bro. Okay, so S asks, which set is Hoover most linked to due to family ties? Hey, man, I'm gonna be straight up, man. I think all sets are like that on Hoover. Family on all sets, and intersecting with other sets. That's why I say, man, Hoover, man, it's not a gang to me. It's a community. We all family. We are all family. So I'm not gonna say, Sevenfold's got more family in Sevenfold than A Trey or 107. I know for a fact every Hoover set got its strong family ties. The whole, you know. So yeah, that's not something I'm gonna speak to and make like, Sevenfold. Nah, homie. If I understand your question correctly, which set is Hoover most linked to due to family ties? All of them. All of them. Straight up. All of them. Okay, Asara Ryan 7 says he bought Crips to Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm gonna go Arkansas. I'm gonna go check that one out tonight, man. Okay, Nabi Blue said it's called Banging in Little Rock, OG. Thanks, bro. Banging in Little Rock. I'm gonna check that out. King Groove 713. What's good with you, loved one? Appreciate you tapping in. It's a good look. All right, all right. I see Boss Claus hanging out. That's what's up. Kenny Harris says, to me, I wouldn't trade growing up with my family on the phone. Much fun. Hoovers are related to everybody. Yeah, real shit. So I think I got the question right, most linked to which Hoover set most linked to due to family ties. Again, I take that as saying, what set got the most family members in it. I think all Hoover sets do. Deep with family, just period. Period. Man, ain't nothing, King Grove. Everything's everything on this end, man. How you do, man? And happy Father's Day, man, to you brothers, by the way. Happy Father's Day. On verse. Okay, so S says he meant what different sets? Uh, I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I know we have a lot of our loved ones got family from A-Trade Gangster, from East Coast, you know, 60s, Menlo, you know, blood sets, you know. So I can't say which one has the most ties with other gangs in terms of family. I don't know. I can't answer that one, bro. But I'm pretty sure, like I said, my family, we were Hoover Crips, but our younger brother, he became a blood, and as a result, we ended up meeting all kind of bloods. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But I can't say for sure with no certainty, man, what or with any, factually, I can't say what set had the most ties with other sets, man, out of Hoover on me. I don't know. Navi Blue say the five deuces. That's a possibility. But I know, yeah, again, but it goes back to what I said. We're linked anyway. We're linked, man. Every set, man, has somebody you know, from somewhere else. Family, family tied in, man. So no matter how we want to look at it, yeah, man, your tribe is your tribe, man. Where you from, that's cool. But we are linked. We're interconnected, man. You know, biologically, what I mean, through in-lawship or whatever the case may be, we are linked, man. So it ain't like, there are no ties. And it's just that's the part of this I don't understand at this day and age. How the hell we ain't got it together to the point where, okay, man, I know, my brother from over here, my sister married to him, so many connections and ties to other sets, and we ain't got it together. You know what I mean? How we ain't got it together, man. That's the shit that that's in my mind that I think about a lot. You know, I think about that shit quite often, man. King Groove 713 says, do you still know any Castle Crips or original West Side Crips? No, I don't. In fact, the only ones I knew that were from Castle was PT and TS. You know, Now someone else from Castle and I know them, but they're from Castle back then. I can't speak on that. But those two, yeah, I do. Um, as far as the old heads, the West Side Crips, yeah, I know one or two. I know a few actually. I know a few actually. You know, but they so far out of the way. I'm not gonna mention their names. But yeah, and I talk to them. I talk to them, not daily, weekly. So yeah. And again, again, we all connected, man. No matter how you want to look at it. So all right, people. I told the wife I gotta tap in, man. Like I said, I mentioned, just in passing, my baby, man, wish her well, people. She's recuperating right now, had a minor scare. She's all right, she's getting better. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go see my baby, man, again today. I've been with her all day for the last week, you know. Just, getting her through is, just supporting her, being there for her when she wake up and everything else, when she go to sleep, I'm there, you know what I mean? So send out, you guys' blessings, man, and love, man, let her know she's loved, because most of the time when I'm doing this, that be the voice you hear in the background correcting me on a lot of shit. Said, well, you didn't read the one, and I'll be like, damn, man, hey, you're not listening. Read that one. That's an important one. So, I miss her, man. I miss her because she's a part of this get down, man. She's a part of this get down, man, for sure, for sure. Um, Man, I love our people, man. That's what I can say, you know, with just, straight up honesty, man. I love our people, man. Want the best for us, you know. We need to, understand one thing again, man. We all we got, you know. In order for that to be so, we got to take care of ourselves and then take care of each other. Without that, man, we ain't got shit. We ain't got shit, but a lot of people saying we ain't shit. A lot of people thinking that we ain't been through shit. We don't know shit. Can't tell them shit. You know, we know better. So as a result of that, man, I think we just need to exercise, like I said, a little more self-love, man, so that we can love others, those around us were just like us. So take care of yourself, take care of each other, man, because power is in the people. So on that note, man, you have been, you are, and you will be under the groove. One love, people, and I'll see you guys soon, man. Take care of yourselves. One love.